Salutations, silent scientist. Automatic here for Automatic Games. Thanks for joining me for Season 1, Episode 4 of my XCOM 2 series. In our previous installment, we saw Bravo Squad in action, picked up a few new recruits for Charlie's squad, and we finally got to meet the spokesman. Let's kick off this episode in the Geoscape.
Local resistance forces in the area can get you into the site, but you will need to make contact with their network first. This is only the beginning, Commander. Your leadership will be a beacon to our people across the globe.
Well, I'd certainly like to think so.
Commander, you're not gonna believe this. We just picked up a signal from an emergency locator beacon. It's definitely one of ours, from the original invasion. I know it sounds crazy, but if there's any chance some of our people could still be out there, I think we owe it to them to find out.
Any chance it's the Battlestar Pegasus? No, it does sound crazy. What if it's a trap, you know?
Plotting new course.
So we are going to continue our scan in the American Southwest. After all, we are in dire need of supplies. Then we will check out that locator beacon.
Strategic resource located.
There we go. Good deal. And yeah, now we'll set course for for what appears to be our old Sky Ranger. I mean, in fact, it does look like it, but I guess we won't know for sure until we conduct a scan, which apparently will take 7 days.
Guerrilla Tactics School now operational.
Alright. The Guerrilla Tactics School. This will allow us to specify the training that a recruit undertakes. It also gives us a lot of purchasable options, one of which I'd like to purchase now, if we can afford it. And in fact, it's the only thing we can afford. It's Squad Size 1, which will allow us to grow our squads from 4 to 5. So now that we've made that purchase, let's go ahead and designate a recruit for training. And the candidate in question is Otto Williams, codenamed Automatic. He's a regular Boy Scout, so we're going to train him to be a Ranger. Ultimately, he'll fall in with Bravo Squad. Now, as to the engineer that helped complete the Guerrilla Tactics School, we're going to hand her a broom and have her clear out this chamber here. It's not enviable work, but clearing out these various chambers it's part of the job. And yeah, you know, since we have larger squads now, we have picked up a few new recruits, and we'll take a look at them. There are 2 new recruits to be precise, both of which will fall in with Charlie's squad under command of Wydra. And these recruits are
Troy Black, codenamed Blackwidow, born Oakland, California, 5 November 1999. Troy's California town was wiped out during the initial alien invasion. He and a small band of survivors lived off the land until the Advent government was inaugurated. At this point, they joined the Rocky Mountain Rangers, a large resistance cell. Troy is a natural tactician and has helped devise dozens of successful attacks on Advent installations. Conrad Siderson, codenamed Cider, born Wichita, Kansas, 16 February 2013. An orphan by age 7, Cider ran with a notoriously dangerous gang called the Wichita Warriors, conducting a brutal series of raids in and around Kansas City. Advent forces fought them in a month-long campaign in 2029, ultimately breaking up the rugged band. Cider then joined a mercenary group that focused their efforts on Advent resources. Unpredictable and rebellious, Cider is nonetheless an effective combatant.
While rebellious doesn't strike me as a desirable quality in a recruit, we're all rebels now. So, welcome aboard the Avenger. Back to scanning.
Much of my own research based upon this simple design. If only I had known. Ah, Commander, excellent timing. There's been some progress. I've managed to break down several key components of the chip implanted into your skull. My analysis reveals that its primary function was that of a conduit, passing a vast amount of data directly to your cerebral cortex. With the primary connection severed, much of that data is lost. Several fragments do remain, however. Ghosts, if you will. Observe. Tactical combat simulations. War games. The sheer volume of encounters you were processing was astounding. It is truly remarkable that you survived as long as you did. Though this may seem disconcerting, there is still some good news. This chip bears a striking resemblance to a medical implant I briefly assisted in developing at the gene therapy clinic in New Providence. My understanding was that the implants were intended for high-ranking Advent officers only, captains or above. Retrieving a chip from such an officer would be the only way to know for certain. A greater understanding of these implants would undoubtedly benefit us all, Commander.
Thus concludes Tygan's preliminary research into alien biotech, and now he wants to perform an autopsy.
The Advent officers have clearly been modified to allow for their subordinates to receive new orders psionically. The implanted chip is the key.
The key. Oh, the key to the Advanced Warfare Center, which we don't have the supplies to build quite yet. So, let's get started on that autopsy.
The Advent officers appear to be similar, if not physically the same as the common Advent trooper in terms of power and agility. However, field reports indicate a more developed mental acuity, as the officers do provide tactical directives to the subordinate Advent forces.
This guy's quickly become a coroner.
I must admit, having successfully completed the operation necessary to remove the commander's implant, I am intrigued by the possibility of examining another subject for comparative analysis. Since the officer in question will likely have expired long before arrival here, I may rely on a faster, more invasive approach to removing the chip this time around.
Have at it, Doc, but don't play like you don't have your specimen yet. It's right there on your table, pal. Not gonna procure you another one. Incoming transmission. Communication from the Resistance, I see. So a scientist has been incarcerated by Advent, and we are to effect a rescue. We'll set course for the West Coast and assemble Charlie Squad. So here we're catching our first glimpse of Charlie Squad, commanded by Frederick Wydra, codenamed Corky. And like the other squad leaders, Corky is a veteran of the invasion of 2015. Now, he will be joined in the field by John Clayton, codenamed CJ. Also, he'll be joined by Conrad Siderson, codenamed Cider, and Thomas Trumpet, codenamed Titanium, and finally, Troy Black, codenamed Blackwidow. And all of these troops will be carrying the basic kit into the field today, and that'll do it for Charlie Squad introductions. You may board when ready, Charlie.
Sky Ranger
In position to drop.
Copy that, Firebrand. You are cleared to descend.
We received an emergency request from the spokesman asking for our help in freeing a VIP sympathetic to the Resistance cause. Advent forces are holding the captive somewhere in this area, and we're expecting a steady contingent of reinforcements to back them up. Lock down the area, eliminate all hostile resistance, and secure the VIP.
As was the case with Alpha and Bravo before them, these troops will be operating in Vancouver, a city plagued by XCOM activities. No, but deservedly so. Apparently there's a lot of crap going on there, and so that's why we have to keep deploying to that general area. Charlie Squad is boots on the ground. I want to talk briefly about the characteristics of our 3 squad leaders. For entertainment's sake, or rather for roleplay's sake, the squad leaders exhibit a certain methodology. They have a reputation that I intend to demonstrate anytime they're commanding a squad in the field.
Let's do this.
Take, for instance, Alpha Squad Leader, Old School. Old School prefers to break up his squad into 2 sections. He relies heavily on stealth, thoroughly reconnoitering a situation until he determines it's time to go loud. I guess you could call that cautious. And you could juxtapose that against Bravo Squad Leader, Weasel, who is inclined to keep his squad rather compact, and he likes to go in hot, basically engaging the first thing they encounter on any given battlefield and muscling their way toward an objective. And then, of course, you have Corky here, in command of Charlie's squad. And Corky relies on 3 factors: speed, speed, and speed. I guess you could say he's a damn the torpedoes kind of squad leader. And of course, this is not to say that none of these men are adaptable. The situation on the ground will certainly determine whether or not they alter their course of approach. Having said that, I would argue that Corky is probably the most stubborn of the 3 and the least likely to make alterations to his plan. And I would chalk this up to him being the eldest member of XCOM. Call it ageism if you want, but yeah, I think he would be least likely to want to step outside of his comfort zone, and his comfort zone is full speed ahead. And after all, I mean, you can see the effects. Charlie is already in the complex that holds the objective. You can see that they've passed up this 2-man patrol, the sectoid and the trooper, and they have no intention of engaging that patrol. But you can also see that they don't care much for concealment, or rather they don't care much for cover. Rather just covering as much ground as possible. And Titanium here, he's going to close these doors behind Charlie. So unless that 2-man squad actually comes into this room, they'll be none the wiser that the squad has passed them. Not until the situation goes loud anyway, and by that point, the sectoid and the trooper may not even have time to get involved with the firefight. So, I mean, I guess you could criticize it, but you could certainly say, like, I'm sure that if I had an audience of XCOM aficionados...
This is where they administer the bulk of their gene therapy treatments. At least the ones the general public is aware of.
That's interesting, Dr. Tigan. I'll continue. But yeah, you know, I'm sure if that was like... If I had hundreds of XCOM fanatics watching, they would probably be going a little crazy saying, like, you know, you should always put your men in cover. The fact that you're not putting your men in cover kind of ticks me off. But, you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. These are soldiers, they take risks. And I don't care, to be honest. As you can see, Titanium, again, is closing the door behind them. So now that squad would have to go 2 rooms deep to spot Charlie. Anyhow, I just wanted to touch on that and briefly discuss the inclinations of the squad leaders. Now, you'll have to pardon me for talking all over Central there. Essentially, he was warning us that hostile interceptors are inbound and could ultimately shoot down our Sky Ranger.
That doesn't look like something you'd use to help someone, does it?
Of course, they won't shoot down our Sky Ranger. Our Sky Ranger will bug out before that comes to pass, and that's what makes this mission time sensitive. And you know, the fact that they're inbound, it begs a few questions. Do they know that it's the Sky Ranger? I would think not. Because if they did, one would presume the alarm would raise on the ground. They would double the patrols. The patrols that are on the ground would be running to and fro. Can't believe I just said to and fro. Searching for Charlie's squad. So I can only assume that they've detected an anomaly in their air traffic. And so they're sending in these interceptors to establish a visual. But it matters not, 'cause it appears that the jig is up. An Advent officer just entered the same room that Charlie's in. And so, rather than maintain stealth, it's about time to go loud. Yeah, in fact, we're going to have most of Charlie go into Overwatch. Maybe gain some better positions, but yeah, go into Overwatch with the exception, perhaps, of CJ and who is that standing out there? Blackwidow, I believe.
Overwatch.
And we'll have Blackwidow go ahead and open up on this officer. It's a miss. Nonetheless, we've got so many assets in Overwatch that we're going to be able to get off a few shots. Whether we hit or not is yet to be determined. Excellent. Oh, okay, and it's two on the grid. The officer and a trooper. But both are down. And there were a few promotions involved in that. Looks like titanium, and then, hell, someone by the door. I didn't quite catch it. But I guess we'll tally those post-mission. Well, CJ's going to go ahead and hack this cell, which is a guaranteed hack, so doors unlocked.
We're in. The VIP is secure and we're on the move.
Excellent.
5 status confirmed. VIP is in tow. Proceed to the extraction point.
You'll see us there. And because Charlie expedited to such a great degree on their approach, we honestly do have a decent amount of time to get the doctor out of here. Oh hell. Now I wonder if that's a two-man patrol that we passed up.
Menace 1-5, we're picking up an enemy transport inbound on your current position.
Yeah, Advent definitely knows what's up now. They've got reinforcements inbound. Let's see. You know, actually, Blackwidow's got a better plan here. He's going to toss a grenade up there, and hopefully that caves in the roof and does some extra damage to that sectoid. And I do believe it did. Yep, it did. And the added benefit, it brought that bastard down to our level.
Roger that.
Titanium's going to take a shot, and it's good. The sectoid is out of the equation. And there's still something else up on that roof. Yeah, an Advent trooper. But CJ removed him. Now that leaves, I believe, 2 on the grid outside. 1 sectoid and 1 trooper. And then, of course, they have reinforcements inbound. So this is tricky. Those 2 and the reinforcements are going to be between us and our extraction zone. Oh, damn. Well, you know, that's what I get for not paying a whole hell of a lot of attention. I basically had Cider toss that grenade a bit too far. Nonetheless, he's making noise. And Corky puts down the trooper. That leaves 1 on the grid, and there's some gear out there on the ground. So ideally, we want to get to that as we proceed. Here comes the reinforcements. So now we've got 4 on the grid. 2 officers, 2 troopers. No, scratch that. 1 sectoid, 1 officer, 2 troopers. But, you know, as far as we're concerned, so far so good. I don't want to jinx us, but we don't have any casualties yet. We can add a zombie to the grid. So now we've got 5 out there, if we want to count him. I don't know that we do. I may be marginalizing the recently departed, but in essence he's a mere extension of that sectoid that CJ is going to toss a grenade at the very least destroying its cover, and inflicting a little damage to boot. Now Cider is going to capitalize on that lack of cover and open fire. And he puts the sectoid down.
Good riddance.
And thus puts down the thing's shambling puppet. Shambling, that's a word, right? Yeah. Now Blackwidow, he's going to move to this elevated position. And he will go ahead and open up on that trooper. No joy.
That is not good.
That's not altogether bad either. We're doing fine. Titanium's going to advance on this gear out here, get it before it self-destructs, and he's in a good flanking position for that to hit that trooper too. And he does.
Got him. Draining ammo fast.
So let's see. The doctor will stay put, and Corky will open up on that officer down there. It's a good hit.
On reserves.
And the one liability that I can see at this juncture is Titanium. He's kind of out there, out front. He could be flanked. That trooper didn't quite achieve a flank, and he's gone into Overwatch. Let's see. Blackwidow is going to open fire on the trooper. No good. We're going to have to take a look at his iron sights when we get back.
Toss me some ammo.
We'll have Corky go after the officer, see if he can hit him again. No good.
Shot wide. Out of rounds.
And as to, let's see. We'll have Cider open fire. Missed the trooper, hit the motorcycle behind him.
Toss me some ammo.
Well, yeah, we'll have CJ come out here. Oh damn, Overwatch, Overwatch. Oh, lucky SOB. Oh. Well, he's not lucky twice. The officer scored a hit on CJ. We have taken a casualty. Damn it, so CJ's gonna try to hit that soldier. It's no good.
Still moving.
Damn. Okay, well, Titanium's gonna collect this gear, and then I don't know if he... Let's see, it was a scope and then a buff. Yeah, he's just gonna fall back rather than take a shot. Because he's in a more exposed position out there than he would have been otherwise. Doctor will stay put. Oh damn, Titanium is flanked. Oh, but the trooper goes into Overwatch.
Hostile interceptors are on high-speed approach. Your window for extraction is closing.
Got it, Central. So now we want to get that officer out of there. He's kind of in a tough spot. Maybe Corky can drop a grenade down on him? No, that won't work. Maybe he can hit the trooper? Nope, he can do neither. So, and we've got Overwatch in place, so we don't want to move any assets. I'll tell you what, Titanium can throw a grenade at the trooper. That'll take him out of the equation. And it does. So this just leaves the officer, and maybe CJ can hit him. The odds aren't great. The officer did wound CJ, so maybe CJ returns the favor. And he does.
Enemies down.
Nice. Nice.
Over here.
So now the grid is clear. So we're going to go ahead and cover as much ground as we can. Basically, you know, we gotta move on that extraction now.
Confirmed.
You know, if Advent was going to send reinforcements, they would have to do it this round. Otherwise, it would have no effect. Because they would have one round of just the beacon, and the next round they would deploy. So yeah, if they were going to do it, they would have to do it immediately, and we'll find out if that's the case.
Affirmative. Moving out.
And we'll go ahead and have Corky reload, just in case.
I'm ready.
Yep, I believe we're home free. We're scot-free. So we'll have Blackwidow move up here and cover near the extraction zone. And seeing as we're home free, it's just a matter of extraction order. In which case it would be VIP first, followed by the wounded. And then it's first come, first serve, and squad leader last. It's generally the way we do it. That way the squad leader ensures that his entire command is out of there. And we get the VIP out of there this round. And so basically, that's mission accomplished. It comes before all other considerations. You know, however, obviously we want to get all of our assets off the ground.
Target position now. Affirmative. Covering now.
And we have a full round to do just that.
Get to the evac.
Not a problem. So from among Charlie, CJ's going to be the first extracted, seeing as he is wounded. And you know, when it comes to wounded assets, J-Bone in the previous mission, as it turned out, she was not gravely wounded. She was merely wounded and was laid up for 4 days. Now, there's no telling the extent of CJ's wounds at this point, nor how long he'll be infirmed. But I guess we'll find out soon enough. And when you're wounded in this game, you could be infirmed for 30, 40 days, which is substantial. It can definitely affect your capability of formulating a squad, or rather fielding a squad.
I'm on the move.
Alright, so Corky is the last man out of here. And Charlie's squad is airborne.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Well, they did fairly well, I would say. They got the VIP out of there. And really, we're lucky we haven't incurred any deaths. Knock on wood. Throughout XCOM's short careers thus far, we've incurred 2 casualties. So I really can't argue with that. We've done quite well. And I look forward to more successes in the near future. As for the distant future, damn, those aliens are going to mess us up. There's just no question about it. But we will prevail.
I told the troops to expect the best, and that's what you've shown them, Commander. Well done.
Oh, it's not due to me, it's due to these fine folk. And so let's dole out promotions and check out specializations. Titanium is, well, going to be our combat medic. And Blackwidow, he's going to be our heavy weapons expert, our grenadier. Excellent. As for our squad leader, Corky, is going to be a ranger. Well, that's a coincidence. Every squad leader is a ranger. Is this the Revolutionary War here? Because they all get a sword? Anyways, Cider is a sniper. And CJ is gravely wounded indeed. He'll be laid up for 11 days. His specialization is Ranger, but he's not a squad leader. And I've learned that I cannot give them scars until they get enough rank, so I will remember that he deserves a scar, but he's got to wait until he gets promoted, I guess, which is weird. And in terms of material gains, oh see, I thought I misread earlier. I thought that was a scope. When Titanium picked it up, it's a stock. And he also procured a perception mod. Gives you a +4 to aim, so I'll give that to whoever has the worst aim.
You have dealt another serious blow to the aliens' efforts today, Commander. Impressive work.
I think so too. I'm impressed. I mean, hell. Let's see, we got a doctor that I still haven't figured out the gender of. And what is that, 108 intel? Oh, but CJ is shaken by his wounds. So that means his willpower takes a hit. But he'll come back from it. He will. Give it time. And it's a lady. Okay. Zhao Chen Yuan.
Suspicions. But before now, we've never had the resources to investigate the possibility of clandestine advent facilities built up outside the city centers. Now that we've gotten word of this black site, I have to admit, I'm worried about what we might find. They could be doing anything in there.
Don't talk like that, Central. You're scaring me. I don't know. I'm not gonna like what we find. It's going to be people abductions going on, but I'm sure most of our enlisted men don't know that as of yet, and I don't think Central has the clearance to know that either. I think that's just a secret between me and the spokesman, as it stands, and my viewers. And here we're watching, what's his name, codename Automatic, just kinda doing his exercises. Is that how you become a ranger? Just push-ups? Wow. Anyhow, here we are looking at the idyllic Advent couple. They are altogether better than us. God bless them. Looking good, folks. Anyhow, this is Automatic for Automatic Games. If you like this, like this. And if you are subscribed, I will talk to you soon, friends.